Hi, my name is Lukas von Stockhausen and I'm Senior Product Manager for Static Application Security Testing here at Fortify. Today, I want to show you a new feature, or actually this is an updated feature with our 20.2 release for our SCA Static Code Analyzer. This feature is Cobol. As you may or may not know, Fortify is supporting scanning Cobol since quite a while. As you also may or may not know, Micro Focus is one of the biggest Cobol vendors around the globe. So we thought, why don't combine these two capabilities? This allowed us to work together with our colleagues from Micro Focus Enterprise Analyzer and enhance our translation capabilities up to IBM Cobol version 6.1. This will be released with our new version SCA 20.2. You can use even newer compilers, which might create some warnings, but should continue in the scan. On the finding side, this allows us right now to work on the weaknesses in order to enhance those and see that we can actually work again together with our colleagues from the Cobol part of the company to find critical and more critical vulnerabilities within Cobol code. As Micro Focus Enterprise Analyzer is a Windows-only technology, our translation is working on Windows only. The scan, well, you can create a mobile build session after the translation, and the scan can work on all supported environments. But let's go a little bit more into Cobol scanning. So scanning Cobol is not much different from scanning any other technology. So you just take your build ID, clean it, then you translate your code, and then you can actually scan this build ID. There are a few caveats, like with most languages, there are a few specific parameters to any language, and that is the same with Cobol. The first thing is that with a lot of Cobol projects being exported, those files do not have an ending. That is a file extension. That is not really a critical issue. We can just use this additional parameter, no extension type Cobol. And with that, we tell Source Analyzer that the moment it finds files which do not have an ending, it should treat it as Cobol. If your Cobol files have a CBL ending, for example, again, that is no issue, then you will not need that parameter. The other parameter is copy dears. It is very important for Cobol scanning to have copybooks available. Those have to be extracted aside from the Cobol code and have to be given in an own directory, and you see here the link to the copybooks. For copybooks, it is important that the copybooks have the ending CPY in order for the translation to be successful. The fixed format parameter, which some people may remember from our previous technology, is only necessary if you use the legacy Cobol translation. So if we look at an exact example, how can Cobol translation look like? Well, you see here we take our build ID, Cobol1, we clean it, then we give some log files. We then go into the next step of translation. Again, we take our build ID, Cobol1. We define our directory structure. Where do we find the Cobol code? We give the no extension type Cobol, because in my case, my Cobol files do not have extensions. And then I give the path to my copybook files. And then again, we have here some log files. And finally, we take our build ID again. We give the scan parameter, and then we give the results file with a -f parameter. And again, here we have some log filing. So if we execute this, you see here that I have exactly that. Well, I'm going to clean the directory first, but then I'm running these three parameters, and then I'm open the results file. So let's kick that off. that is taking a moment for us right now here again, but you see, you don't see Enterprise Analyzer, right? This is just invoked under the hood. This is an error message popping up here, which is provoked by Enterprise Analyzer. We are aware of it, and we are working on getting rid of this error message. Enterprise Analyzer is a program which is normally run in an interactive mode, so they give interactive error messages here. For us, as in a lot of situations, Fortify is run in a non-interactive mode. This is obviously not ideal. This is why we want to get rid of it. If you just close this message, you see the translation to continue. As you have seen a sneak peek of this next slide in a moment, you can see that we actually give away in order to get rid of this error message. If you open Global Policy Editor, and then you can navigate to Computer Configuration, Administrative Templates, Windows Components, Windows Error Reporting, then on the right pane, you can click on this Prevent Display of the User Interface for Critical Errors and set this to Enabled, and that will remove the error message. So let's quickly do that, right? We see here prevent display of the user interface for critical errors. We open that one and we set this to enable, apply it, and close this. Well, before we rerun the scan, right, and let me close the Global Policy Editor. Before we rerun the scan, let's have a look at the results. You see here, well, we have a very small code base, right? 45 files, 2,000 lines of code. And we found 44 low issues. These are actually issues like you are aware from it from any other Fortify scan, right? You see a detailed description here. You get recommendations. You have your diagram. You have your history on all this. So this is exactly the same as before. Well, if we close that here and quickly just kick off this scan again, then you will see that there is no error message picking up right now. At least I hope so, right? This is the idea of this global policy we added. And you see here right now, this is running through. So this is a way to avoid this error if it occurs on your side. That concludes our demo on Cobol. I hope you find this new feature or this updated feature useful, and I'm highly interested in your feedback. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.